Well, now I need to know how they got their name and what it meant before it was a name.
They were very cold playing basketball in school, and that's where they got the name.
Y'all gonna make me look this up.
Y'all gonna make me look this up. Look this
Up
up.
in here.
Look this up.
In here.
And now Google's gonna think I'm a fan.
DMX is a librarian now, apparently. He's way into kids' literacy.
It's a good thing.
If you're gonna sell out, you might as well use it for good, you know? Change your lyrics to, you know.
And if your name is already just letters, you're halfway there. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So apparently they're named after the title of a children's book called Child's Reflections, Cold Play.
Oh.
It just comes full circle.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Now I'm waiting for that DMX Coldplay crossover.
Yeah.
This is the most ADHD episode we've ever made. We got sleepies. We got goofballs. We got tangents.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm taking off. Still to run. Taking off. Still to run. Taking off. Still to run. I was trying to fly. Drifting to space. All I feel is cold. All I want is the power of the night.
Welcome back to Shattered Worlds RPG. I'm your Loremaster, Jeff, and with me tonight are 4 of the best people I've ever met, and certainly that you've ever heard on a podcast. It's Jayme.
Hello?
AJ.
Don't make me blush.
Ash.
We're way better than all those other podcasters.
Fuck those clowns.
Jerks.
Drag them.
And Kristy.
I don't know what they're talking about.
You lie like that.
True crime podcasters, whatever. Way better than that.
Yeah.
We make our own crimes.
Well, see, I don't know what they're talking about because I don't listen to any other podcasts besides ours.
Why would you? You don't need to. You learn
Exactly.
about words. There's music sometimes.
I have no need.
So what I'm hearing is all those times you said you've listened to my other podcast were a lie.
Shut up, AJ.
I don't listen to any podcasts, including this one.
Edit. Cut.
AJ, I like the episode where things happened.
I really liked that moment where insert bit here.
For the listener, AJ's face while they did that was very good. Insert bit
here. Servers overloading.
Wait, I think that's robot sexy talk.
Is it?
Insert bit here.
I've never had to leave the podcast so early, but oh my.
You may have like oversold us at this point. Let's go back and
Let's rewind. Let's go back to basics.
temper those
4
expectations.
of the most adequate people I know.
4 people who are not too shitty. They're acceptable.
I'm just a guy.
All right, that's enough silliness. Last time you might have enjoyed some vampire shenanigans. This time it's all business. Let's find out.
Is it all business? Because Alecto about to get eaten by a vampire.
No, I guess you're right. It is more vampire shenanigans.
Hmm.
Let's find out. Alecto,
Hi.
you're in the hall. She's coming on to you real good. And she says, Alecto, may I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you think Crunch is a liability?
I don't know. I like Crunch. Crunch is okay. I mean, yeah, I don't think so.
Well, he seems to have exited our meeting quite unceremoniously. I wonder if you might know anything about why.
Nope.
Well, the room's all done up, and she kind of turns and like directs your attention to it. And it looks nice, kind of tasteful, sort of thing an older gentleman might enjoy as he sips his whiskey or something.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
There's some nibbles if you
Did you? What
would
did you?
like.
Are you nipples?
Oh, I'm sorry, nibbles.
No,
like,
nibbles. Okay.
hors d'oeuvres. That's.
I definitely was not looking at your chest when you said that. Yeah, I'm good. Crunch isn't here, you said? Because I came to see Crunch. And if Crunch isn't here, I'm going to get going. I'm going to go find my girlfriend.
Yes, tell her a shy says hi.
I probably won't, but I will see you later.
All right. Her eyes creepily follow you as you head down the hall.
I walk slowly backwards,
Oh, you're going.
maintaining eye contact the whole time. And then before I turn the corner, I go, "What?"
Okay, back at Gale's room, Crunch appears, all cattywampus and frazzled.
I take it things did not go well.
I mean, you could say that. The escape went off marvelously, though. Look at this. I'm here.
Sure did. Where's a shy? Right now.
I'm as shy as back in my fancy room.
So basically 20 or 30 feet away, presumably. Because you were in a pleasure room, too, yeah?
Yep. You certain she stayed there?
Oh, there's no telling where she is. It depends on if she's still, right outside the bathroom door. I didn't really keep an eye on her as I left.
Well, the Gilly WhatsApp is still there, right?
It is indeed.
Keziah, is she still in the room?
She'll say that basically what just happened with Alecto, unless Gilly couldn't see.
Oh, yeah. Basically, you're just seeing her standing in the open doorway, just sort of perfectly still.
Can Gilly see Alecto?
No, she seems to have gone out of frame.
Right, but could Gilly see that Alecto was there talking to a shy?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, he saw that.
Okay, so she'll relay as much as she possibly can out of that, but I really don't have any idea what all of that was about.
A shy slowly turns just her head, and it swivels like all the way over her shoulder. So I'm not going to demonstrate it because that would.
Because you're not an owl.
I mean, now I'm all interested.
And her eyes are looking right at you, and then there's a and static, and the connection is lost.
And she
Shit.
killed my bug.
Shit. Oh God, I don't know what to do. What is there? Freaking out a little bit.
I will go outside and pretend that I had rented this room for therapeutic massage.
Wonderful. I'm just gonna hide behind this door.
What was the question?
Oh, in the chat, Ash asked if she's a vampire, how does Lady Ashai put on makeup?
Oh.
If you are 500 years old, I have to imagine you've gotten good enough at makeup to know exactly where to put it.
She hires
Awesome.
people. She has a
Yeah.
team.
Even if you have a team, though, like, what if one of them is on one and puts a big orange stripe through your eyebrow? Like, that sounds
Then
awful.
you get drained, my friend.
Oh, you can use mind control on them
Hmm.
to tell them to tell you exactly what they're seeing to make sure that it's just right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could also work. I was thinking that if they did something wrong, she would just eat them.
Hmm.
Well, I think that's a given with a vampire.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't mean to derail things. I just was honestly just very curious. Like,
No, continue. Please derail.
because how often does Wolfman and Frankenstein draw dicks all over Dracula's face? Because he's never gonna know.
Oh, all that I have to imagine every single time. Every time. I just want to see that coffin open, him rise up out of it, and just balls up here, full on shaft down the chin.
Anyway, continue. There was just some suspense or something.
No, I mean, these are important questions. Do the universal monsters play sophomore pranks on one another?
The Invisible Man
Yes.
definitely got his house TP'd with the mummy.
Yes.
I would have to imagine that it would be a really boring eternity if they didn't.
Werewolf has definitely had his shampoo replaced with Nair,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
or Wolfman, I should say.
Wait, when you say he got his house TP'd with the mummy, do you mean the mummy was the TP?
Yes.
No, we are talking about now fully naked mummy, fully dressed house.
Like, instead of tossing a roll of TP, the mummy just tosses his foot and it goes unwinding in the air.
That's fucked up.
She's giving you full necrosis.
Better.
I should also note before we get too far that Alecto didn't go. She just went around the corner, so she was out of sight. She's still like listening to make sure, because she's bodyguard,
Sure, yeah.
bodyguarding Crunch. So
Now, theoretically, it's kind of an O shape in the middle of the ship,
Oh,
so you could
yeah.
you could go around the corner and then work your way back to your team down a different corridor, or you could go down the stairs and up the stairs back. Not stairs, elevator, turbo. There's not. Jeffrey's tubes are just a Star Trek thing, but I'm just gonna assume maintenance shafts exist everywhere.
Well, it doesn't have to be complicated. I just go far enough that I'm out of
You're
sight.
around the
Just around the corner. Yeah.
You're messing with Jeffrey's tubes.
They're called Jeff's tubes in this universe.
Mhm. Okay, so Keziah steps outside.
Yes. Keziah, you see Lady Ashai walking down the hall away from you. In more or less the same direction Alecto went. I mean, in exactly the same direction Alecto
More or
went.
less exactly.
Okay. How far away is she?
About 35, 40 feet.
Okay. She will walk the opposite direction and very quietly whisper. Well, wait, she doesn't actually know where Alecto is, so she won't do that. Because she doesn't know that Alecto stopped around the corner.
So you're walking to the stern, to the rear of the ship, or at least this deck. And yeah, Alecto, you're tucked around the corner, and Lady Ashai walks by, just swishing away, smelling great. You love to watch her leave.
All right. Well, as she walks past, I'll head back toward everybody else.
All right, you step back into the path, and Roger the robot pipes in. He says, Ms. Ashrender, you seem to be in some distress. Can I offer you any refreshment? Entertainment options?
No distress. I'm fine, thank you.
You see Keziah standing in the hall.
I wave.
She'll wave back.
I'll come running up and stop just shy of giving Keziah a hug. Just air hug.
Hello.
I'm glad to know that you're okay. Do you know if Crunch is okay?
Theoretically.
You could say you could see Lady Ashai lingering by the elevator button about 100 feet down. She's looking over your direction.
Haven't seen him for some time. Not since dinner, though. And Keziah will kind of like point with her eyes, I guess.
What?
Well, you know, like
Glance in the direction.
yeah.
Like towards Gale's room? Is that what the eyes are
No,
doing?
towards Ashai and the elevators.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen Crunch since dinner either. I was worried about him, so I went to check on him in his room, and there was that scary vampire lady. Yeah, I said it. She's a scary vampire lady.
She enters the elevator, whoosh, closes.
You heard it here first, folks.
When Keziah is sure the elevator is closed and has probably left the floor, yes, she was, as Crunch put it, very scary. I don't know what her intentions were, but he ran into the bathroom. She followed. And Crunch teleported out. He's in this room here.
Oh, great. Well, I'm glad everyone is okay.
Keziah will gently think, Gale, could you let us in?
Right. Yep. Is coast clear? Coast clear?
As far as I can tell, yes.
Gale will open the door.
Door opens.
Okay, go inside.
You are now inside the room.
Yes, we did
like
it.
Door closes.
It's like an infocom
softly
adventure.
behind
And
All
we're
right.
done.
And
Scene.
we're done. So, just if I can recount with everyone here, we're in exactly the same place we were roughly 15 minutes ago, right? Yeah? We haven't learned anything, did we?
Not really, no.
No.
I left the room. Ashai paid no attention to me. She went to the elevator. She seemed interested in Alecto. But,
Interested.
gross.
I let the record show that Ash made quote marks with their fingers.
Not gross because of you, Alecto.
Oh,
Please
I
don't
know.
take it that way.
I'm fabulous.
Yeah. Crunch, go ahead and answer this in any capacity that you can, because I know this could be a loaded question, but are you still in danger?
How about it, Jeff? Do we have to roll for this one?
I mean, you can't really say that for sure unless you want to risk more pain. You want to be taken back to pain court.
By the way, it's opposite day.
What's a really dangerous pastime, like, like bungee jumping or free climbing or something?
I like tornado hunting.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Crunch is going to say, I was thinking of taking up tornado hunting all of a sudden.
So that would be a yes.
So either that or Crunch doesn't know that there's not tornadoes in space, but
Space tornadoes.
or space does.
Meteornados.
Pretty sure.
I'm having a really hard time with my astronomical knowledge dealing with all these words being smushed together. They can't possibly mean anything. Meteors are rocks that enter the Earth's atmosphere. Right?
Meteornados.
Can't be in space. It's like fundamentally impossible for them to be in space.
Jeff.
Tornadoes require wind. There's no wind in
Jeff,
space.
I have such good news for you about words and their meanings. None of them mean fucking anything.
I'm
We made words up.
pretty sure, could be wrong, that the original Star Trek had a space tornado in it.
I'm
That's
sure
canon
it did.
for this game because
And you know what canon is? Another word that someone just made the fuck up.
Mhm.
Mm.
and then they put photon before it.
Mhm.
So
Photon
yeah, I
tornado.
guess
So we're chasing tornadoes in space.
Exit pursued by bear. All right. So, still in danger. We now need to start thinking very critically about how we protect Crunch in all of this. Is he safe in the common areas at this point? Like, do we think she's going? Well, she asked for a private room, so like maybe it's not something she's going to like publicly do, but like I also am very worried about Ashai knowing that I know any of this because she absolutely 110,000% knows that I'm a fugitive.
I feel like the most helpful thing might be figuring out how to free Crunch of whatever this overpowering will of hers is.
Good point. Good. Yeah, it would be nice to have Crunch at. I mean, full capacity isn't much more than what's happening now, but it would be nice to have him back at full capacity.
I mean, I don't know how men typically act in the presence of Lady Ashai, but no offense, Crunch. You crumpled.
I mean, full offense.
I don't know. I think Crunch did really good. I think he was very brave. I think we should all give a round of applause for Crunch.
She has video graphic evidence that that is not the case.
Not anymore. That bug was destroyed. She can't prove anything.
Crunch, we're gonna have a conversation again about you talking about yourself in the third person, but for right now,
I find it helps with the whole, mind control thing I'm dealing with,
how many d6 of pain do you have to roll for that? Where do we go on the ship to learn more about vampires, and would this technically be thrall or something? We need to do some research on how to stop this.
Did somebody say research?
Right, we have a whole ship full of bots. Hello.
All right, the screen blooms into life. Gosh, what's the theme for this room? This pleasure room?
It's the one that Keziah and Gale were in, right?
Yeah.
Blank white walls.
Blank white walls. All right. Just a fun head of Roger the Robot appears, and he's like, I'm happy to help you with all manner of research.
What can you tell us anything specific about vampires and curses?
Vampires' curses. Well, I'm sure you've already gone through all the most readily available information.
Roger, you would be so surprised to know that we have not.
Oh, good. Then I get to list out the next 174,363 citations in the last 100 years. One, and a page appears with some writing on it. This is
I have a
from
question.
Halbertarian Cyclic on Cryptozoological Phenomenon, page 479. And it goes on in that vein unless you ask for him to actually use his giant robot brain and help you a little bit more than that.
Roger, I so deeply appreciate all that you're doing, the grand history of it all. I'm enthralled myself. If we could get something a little bit more specific,
Of course.
particularly pertaining to the fact that our friend cannot talk earnestly with us about what's going on.
Oh, yes. Well, my most likely supposition is that a fellow passenger upon this starship has
Starship.
has quote put the whammy on your friend, and he does little quotation marks in hands that appear for the purpose, and then they go away.
Love that. Thank you, Roger. We had gotten to that point. What we would really like to know is how do we unwhammy our friend?
Have you tried asking her?
We are currently looking at asking her options.
Understandable. Perhaps you should speak to an expert.
Are there currently any experts on this ship?
I could create a virtual expert based on a compilation of various occult metaphysical researchers over the last several thousand years, or you could just talk to Legos, who is a high-level enchanter and has been studying this sort of thing for a very long time.
You didn't lead with that. You didn't lead with that?
I'm sorry. I'm only just now getting used to you all's ways of thinking and interacting with one another. From now on, would you like me to always direct you to the most knowledgeable person on the subject on the ship? It'll usually be me, of course.
That would be... You know what? Thank you so much, Roger. You are dismissed. Thank you for your help.
Goodbye. And he does a little tip of the cap, and he goes away.
All right, so Legos, right? That's who we're going to next. I spoke with Legos before to ask about the Almond. I said that right?
Omond.
About the Almond Foundation. Typically a little bit shady, but I mean, billionaires, philanthropy, etc., etc. Uh, needless, regardless, Legos was really helpful with that. I feel like if he's studied this for a long time, then he'll be really helpful with this too.
Sounds good to me. Crunch, do you want to come with us?
Yes, safety in numbers. And perhaps I can get some more garlic if we happen by kitchen dining area.
I swear, old people in garlic, they always eat it. I don't know what's...
He wants the garlic for vampire protection.
Right. Yes. Forgot momentarily. Brain's doing a lot right now. Let's go see Legos.
Has anyone considered just opening a window next time we fly past a star?
This is so hard for me, guys. I'm not there. There's no reason I would send an NPC there to comment on this. I have no involvement in this whatsoever. How do you all respond to Alecto's genius idea?
That isn't.
I don't think AJ's done responding.
That is a possibility, Alecto. However, I do believe you are the only one strong enough to be able to do that.
I didn't mean like open the window to let the air and like let the sunlight in, or the starlight rather.
Oh,
you mean a shade.
The vampires and stuff. Just lift the shade up. Yes, thank you.
Sun stuff, yes.
Yes.
That's actually really smart. But yeah, we should. I mean, I hesitate to say we should try it because if it next vampire we see, we'll try this for sure, 110%.
I must admit, I prefer the mental image of seeing her sucked out into space, but
Hey, listen. Both images, primo, love it. However, we do also have to keep in mind the fact that the Oakleaf Society and the Oman Foundation are currently working together, and if we start infighting, it could cause some problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hole in the ship sounds like a terrible accident, though. I'm just saying.
Does sound like a terrible
Whoops.
accident that we could.
Who punched a hole in this window?
Who kicked the bulkhead open?
We have a famous history of putting holes in ships, so I feel like they'll pretty quickly trace that back to us.
I mean, all I can say is I would really hate if Lady Ashai got sucked into space, and it would be terrible if sunlight reduced her to bones and powder. That would just be the worst.
Hmm.
I think we would all shed a tear.
So, you all plan to contact Lagos somehow? Or walk up to his cabin?
Where's his room?
Meet him on the bridge? Where does he go after dinner? You could ask the robot.
I love the idea of us just rolling up on this dude's room completely unannounced.
Well, he's got a communicator, right?
Sure, yeah, just hit the virtual button. Everybody's got their devices synced up.
He's got an oak leaf communicator, too, right?
Yeah.
Does Lady Ashai?
Not that you know of. Nobody wants to do it. Everybody's standing in the hall looking at each other.
I'll flip and knock on the door.
Yeah.
We can just come up with some random other reason to talk to Legos. And, like, one of us can do it. Keziah can do it. Doesn't matter. And then I'll go see him.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Do
what
you
is
just
that?
want to text like you up? I mean, how do you start this conversation?
I mean, I feel like we nailed it in one there, right?
Say it, baby. You want to talk about vampires?
Like, yo, chief, emergency meeting. I mean, like, how do you make the overture?
Well, what? Because I, Kristy, don't really know what kind of dealings has Legos had with us in the past.
As far as you know, he is your contact. He's above artist in the, I don't know, influence chain. So, like, basically he pays your bills if you have bills as agents. You send him your expense reports if you have them.
We could just say we've got some bills. We need to go over.
I want to go over some bills.
All right. So,
I love that Gale and
Yeah.
Alecto are just like, we've never actually. All the bills just get paid. We don't think about it.
We can just
That's above my pay grade thinking about bills.
we could message Lagos and say that Ambassador Crunch would like to ambass his door.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I was just gonna message him and say there's a discrepancy on my medical expense report, and I would like to place an order for some high value items. I need to speak with you, and I would prefer to do it very soon, preferably immediately, if that's all right with you.
Is this a text or like voice, face, the whole thing?
It can be voiced face. I mean, it's Keziah. So.
It's a voice face. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he pings on and he's like, looks like he was sitting down to read. He sets his book aside, puts his glasses down, and he says, yes, of course. Come on by my quarters. I'm on C deck. room 17.
Thank you. I will be there shortly.
Do you need an escort?
I think I can find my way.
Very well. If you get lost, just ask Roger for help. That's why he's there.
Of course.
All right. So the four of you, I assume, travel there.
Yeah.
Any elevator chat?
I think we should
Boop,
avoid elevator
boop,
chat.
Boop, boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop, 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 boop,
I'm just saying, in
boop,
Mass Effect, this
boop.
is when they talk, or they listen to news. You know, in the Turbo Lift in Star Trek, this is where you have your personality conflicts develop.
Yeah.
No, Alecto's just doing a little shimmy to the girl from Ipanema or
Yeah.
Kenny G or whatever's playing.
Gale's playing Blink 183 because they have the next version in space.
Nice.
Blink 184. Kenny 0G.
Kenny Zero G.
Kenny 0G, that's good. Yeah.
I feel like it's not, but I appreciate you saying so.
It is though, because I'm laughing very
Okay.
hard right now.
I'll take it.
AJ got me twice. AJ put "Hey Lego" in the chat instead of Legos and named themselves Olmond Joy.
Mhm.
We got good stuff going on over here.
I'm gonna ruin every single one of your NPCs. You thought Papa Junzel was the worst of it?
Lego! All right. You guys arrive at Legos's. The door opens. He says, "Come in, come in."
We're here too.
And you see one of his Marines is in like a loose green tunic, and she looks really tough, but she's put on a little makeup. She's about 40, short curly hair, and she gets up to let you guys in, and then she steps out, and the door closes. And he says, "What can I do for you?"
I apologize for the deception, but I'm not actually here to speak about expenses.
I didn't think you were.
Are you sure? She was so convincing. I thought we were getting really off topic, and I was gonna be like, "Hey, that's not the reason. That's not the reason, Keziah." Anyway, do you remember earlier when I was talking with you about the Olmond Foundation and some personal issues I thought were going on with our friend Ambassador Crunch?
I do, yes.
We are hoping that you may. Roger has told us you know a fair amount about vampires.
I have studied the subject, yes. He's smiling like you think he enjoys like watching people squirm and like go on and on when where most people just be like spit it out, you know. Don't fuck around. He seems to enjoy the drama.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm wondering is maybe our friend here doesn't seem to be able to tell us the whole story about what's going on. He is unable to tell us why he's so jittery, and we have reason to believe that that is Lady Ashai's fault, and we're wondering if maybe you know how to make him be able to say these things without having to directly ask Lady Ashai to drop it.
He kind of looks over at Crunch and then he holds up a finger. He says, "Ambassador." And he sort of twirls his hand a bit and then makes a swooping gesture, and this watch like appears in the air with a chain that like stretches up to to a singular point, and then it starts penduluming back and forth. And he says, Ambassador, tell me, when did you last feel like yourself? And it was right before she put the whammy on you, whenever that was.
Yeah. Am I able to say that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It was a Tuesday.
It was my younger days this afternoon.
The good news is you've only been in this state for a short time. The hold can't be as powerful as someone who's been in the grip of such an influence for many weeks or months. Here's the trouble, as I see it. Were I to simply cast a spell and block this signal, the person who cast it could be harmed, and at the very least alerted to the transformation. Whereas, if one were able to siphon off some of the dark magic behind that binding, and say use it to power an artifact, or a charm, or a spell, well then, one could kill two birds with one stone, as it were, though that is a particularly cruel metaphor.
I mean, you said it.
It's been thousands of years. We haven't come up with a better one. What can I say?
Space birds. Vaporize space pigeons with one rake. Anyway. So yes. I like the second one. It sounds pretty cool. I like this whole artifact angle and me no longer being in the thrall of a vampire. What do you all think?
I mean,
He says all that in kind of a dull, flat affect because he is currently hypnotized.
Oh no. Yeah.
if it's just a matter of having an artifact, I mean, I made the consecration sigil in the pleasure room. I could probably add that to like a necklace or something. I don't know, like what do you want, a cross or something? Like what?
Legos is immediately intrigued. The watch continues to pendulum back and forth, and he leans towards you, Gale, and he says, interesting. A holy construction powered by entropy. It's insane. It couldn't possibly work, but I'm intrigued nonetheless. We should talk, Gale. We might be able to work together.
I mean, sure.
So when you say artifact, then are you talking about making an evil item?
Well, I was more meaning something that had already been purpose built for the task. Something you might have found at a religious site or an old temple, an old wizard's chest, that kind of thing. Building something new that would be powerful enough to accommodate such energy. It's tricky. It requires old learning and old tools. It's not the kind of thing you'd find on a starship. Unless it was my starship. And he smiles all broadly with his beautiful white teeth. And he says, excuse me. And he claps, and the watch falls, and disappears into beautiful golden dust. And Crunch, you're back to normal. And he leads you, Gale, over to his closet. And it opens up, and it becomes like this, Narnia-ass forest. and he reaches for things. It's just like your dimensional inventory, except it looks way cooler, and it's like closet sized.
Oh, wow. Oh. All right. Okay.
He says, "If you'll excuse us, friends, we'll be right back." And he says, "After you, my dear."
Oh, we can walk in it. Oh. Oh,
Indeed.
all all right. And I think she just very hesitantly like dips a toe in and like tries to see if she's gonna be like, because like again, this is a much more advanced version of her dimensional inventory, and she's never gone like in the inventory, so she's worried something's gonna get chopped off or something.
You are not sucked into a vortex. It just seems to be like a nether, like a liminal space that you can enter and not be squeezed to death or asphyxiated.
I feel like once she realizes that her foot isn't being torn asunder, she will get the rest of the way in.
Right on. He follows you, and then the door closes, and the forest disappears for y'all and goes back to being a normal wall. So, Alecto, Crunch, Keziah, do you have any reaction to this?
I'm a little bothered by the fact that he just casually assumed we would have some kind of religious artifact on us. That seemed a little odd.
I'm just wondering if next time Gale and Crunch are in deep doo-doo, they could just hide in the closet.
That's a good point.
It would beat hiding in a bathroom. I have to give you that.
I would agree.
All right, Gale, you see you're in like this classic wizard's laboratory with like, I don't know, stone and rugs and tapestries and like moonlight glittering through a hole in the gold ceiling, and yeah, it's really pretty. There's a nice like sage kind of incense going through the air. And he pulls out a few things, opens up this fabric, and inside are these tools, and he pulls out what looks like a letter opener, but it's got sort of an ankh shape on the end. He says, "What about this one?"
Does the religious symbol have to match up to whatever religious affiliation has to do with the person at hand? Is it something like, does it need to be tied to them in that way, or does it?
Well, I hate to say that the religious significance of the object is meaningless. That would be a tasteless thing for an enchanter to say, but let's just be honest. It's an item of great power and potential, and it can hold some of the damage, if you will, that's leaking out of the person. Does the ambassador have any specific kind of religion or belief system at all?
I don't think I've ever asked.
What about this one? It's like a jade earring. He could wear this on his person. To pierce the body is a much more effective means of drawing forth power. Oh, and he goes back to the original one. This one actually was intended to pierce the body, but it would draw blood and thus fill a phial or phylactery or some kind. You wouldn't leave it in your body permanently.
Oh shit! It's the Gamja bar.
Yeah, the first one's the Gamchapara. This one's an earring.
I mean, as much as I want to stab, I mean, I don't want to stab. I don't want to stab my friend. I don't want to stab my friend.
But it's interesting because blood, if you think about the source of a vampire's power, blood is all bound up within it. So actually drawing some blood is a good idea. That's why I brought these two pieces. There's also this one, and it's like a cord with all these like nasty little like barbs. And he says, what you do is you wrap this around your waist and cinch it tightly above a hip bone. And as you move throughout the day, it scrapes and tears. It keeps you focused during meditation, martial arts, that sort of thing. Does Crunch leave a mostly sedentary life?
I'm sure he'd like to think otherwise.
Well, this can counteract some of that, bring some blood flow to the extremities.
All right. I, as a player, would love to have Jayme's.
To have him have a barbed wire belt.
I would love Jayme's input on what he wants this to look like if it's gonna be like on his character.
Cool, yeah.
What about like a full on like barbed wire cummerbund?
You just want a pokey sash.
It's maximum coverage, you know? Just ruined my day.
Just fuck his whole shit up.
I think the point is it has to be close to the skin. I don't know if it necessarily needs to pierce the skin, but it has to like have something to do with blood, generate blood flow or something. Could be acupuncture needles, I guess.
I mean, I imagine a bunch of barbed wire rubbing against your midriff would get some blood flow going.
Yeah.
You could wrap a cummerbund around it.
Mm-hmm.
Make it nice and tight.
Yeah. Party in the front, barbed wire in the back.
Ah, I know. And he goes back in and he pulls like directly out of the coals this like wrought iron kind of trunk chest thing, and pulls it out, and it turns from like white to red back to iron color, and it opens up, and this like ghostly hand rises up out of it, and it's holding a ring, and he says, I found this on the side of Mount Tebulon. That's some powerful magic mountain where they used to make magic items back in the day. And he says, it was designed to take a tiny amount of blood from the wearer every few hours and would store it in this vessel here. There's like a little crystal sort of dome.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be taken out and used as part of certain rituals. I'm sure the two of us working together could turn that into something.
I'm being drawn back to the barbed wire. I'm being drawn. I feel like.
For those who are wondering, this is a thing that it was either in the Da Vinci Code or in Angels and Demons. The bad guy from Opus Dei wore it. I think it's called the Cilice.
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell?
The underwear.
It's like a chain that you put under your shirt
Yeah.
that like digs at your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Da Vinci Code, so.
It's not great. I've read the book.
Awesome.
I don't remember
Also
anything
not
about
great.
the movie.
What? Dan Brown didn't write something well?
No. Not in my country. I feel like if we a single link alone, I don't think would be enough power, but if we could get like a wraparound, like maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe that would be enough to draw the pain out from him.
You want to permanently undo the curse by directing all of the energy into the item, thus making the item a cursed item.
Yes.
Bold, ambitious, dangerous. I like it.
See, I thought you would. I really thought you would. You have that way about you. You start saying things like they're negative, but then you turn it into a really good positive, and I like that about you, and I appreciate that you're on board with this.
Let's tell the others.
Alrighty.
All right, so you do you want to show Crunch the options or just bring that one thing?
I'll bring out a few. I think Gale got it across to Legos that Crunch probably isn't much of an earring person, but I'm sure they brought the rest of it out.
Nice. Okay. Ring, ankh poker, and chain belt.
I think it's actually Ankh-Mar pork.
I know. I was kind of thinking about that. All right. So you arrive back at the room. They just see like trees briefly appear and then whoosh out of the way. You guys arrive. Yeah. So Gale shows you kind of what they were talking about. It has to have something to do with blood, and it has to like siphon off some of the power. So we could have you wear something that sort of eases the pressure over the course of a day or all at once. One is easier but won't get rid of it entirely, and the other is much harder and more dangerous but will.
I like the one that will. I myself am a man of danger. I can deal with a little danger. Let's get this curse off of me. Right quick.
Nice. Okay, he's like, well, we haven't settled on a destination yet, so we have time. I'm waiting on a call from my contact on Stoneflower Island. No telling when that'll come through. And then you hear a bing, and this little red disc on his table sort of buzzes like one of those things at a chain restaurant. The pager thing, like vibrates on the table. And he goes, ah, one moment. And he does something with his ear, and he's like, ah, yes. And then he does something that makes the room secure, and the lights change. And a hologram comes up, and it's Judith, the senator, or the senator's wife, rather, who's also friendly with the Oakleaf Society. These two know her from the space train. I don't know if Keziah and Jayme ever met her. I mean, not Jayme. Ambassador Crunch. Ambassador, you would have known her when she was like young and hot AF. She was like the like downest to clownest person in the diplomatic corps when you were at your peak. So she seems to have done well for herself, and she looks around the room. Ah, Ambassador, lovely to see you again.
He does the cartoon wolf thing. No, I'm kidding. What's her name again? Judith?
Judith, yeah.
Judith, lovely to see you again. Yes.
Ah, yes. I'm sorry to hear about your friend. Well, that's actually why I'm calling. Are we safe? And Legos does a little hand motion to say that they are. And she says, very well. I was reaching out to let you know that our mutual friend from the Royal Diplomatic Service may still be alive. The word comes from a planet called Baradonia 3. There's a shuttered prison there on the third largest continent, the Combined Long-Term Rehab Facility, or CLRF. It was nicknamed the Chute because it's dug so deep into the earth. We don't know for certain, but there are links between the construction firm contracted to strip the facility and one of the companies tied to the attack on the Comet Seeker. This firm, A.R. Severin, is owned by a small group of galactics, 5 of whom have recently gone missing. The 6th, Rebecca Durning of House 10 Skell, is a known member of the Order of the Red Circle. The 7th, Paltros Van Cordensen, is one of Pamela Haduri's closest business contacts. Pamela Haduri, you might know, is the same pirate that left the Order of the Red Circle last year at the head of a schism she calls the Pamite Legion. This lady is super brutal, violent. She was kicked out of the Red Circle for brutality and flaunting laws and stuff. They're supposed to be a, law-abiding organization. So, yeah, she's bad news. And she stole Gilliam the Fate-Driven's, extremely expensive experimental starship. Supposedly has all kinds of guns and shit. So she's pretty dangerous.
Okay.
She says, I have a map of the area. I have the ability to get codes for approach to the planet without upsetting the Conclave forces there. And if you like, I can begin doing direct surveillance, but I wanted to get your go-ahead before doing so. Legos looks you guys over. Seems like that's fine, and he says, yes, carry on. But make sure there's no tie back to us. And she says, of course. I've been at this a while, Legos. As well I know, Judith. So, that's it for those two. Anybody have any questions?
Is she still there?
Yeah. I mean, if you guys don't talk, they'll just have a nice little chit-chat.
So she's talking about PD, right?
Yeah.
Do you know of any further connection to the Olmond Corporation?
Connections between these companies and Olmond?
Yes.
Seems unlikely. And Lagos says, we're having a bit of an issue with one of our allies. We're wondering if we're compromised. And she goes, oh my, and puts her hand to her mouth, very surprised. And she says, it isn't a shy, is it? And he kind of winces or whatever, but he doesn't say anything. Goodness, I wouldn't want to make an enemy of that woman.
I mean, what if you already had, hypothetically, that?
It's a dangerous business we're in.
Yes, unfortunately.
You've been out of the game a while, Crunch. You might have forgotten how it's played. Now she's just fucking with you. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah. What is going on?
You're telling me there was a time he played?
Oh, yes. Ebenezer Crunch was once quite the player. I shouldn't say more.
See, I told you. They know.
Oh, I'm gonna vomit.
It's like thinking about my dad or something. It's just weird.
I don't like this.
you have any specific questions for her? Do you want to ask for any particular resources? This is a contact well up in the like her husband's a conclave senator. She's got ties to the Ascendancy Diplomatic Corps. Like she's very connected. If there's anything you might want to know or get.
Now here's where I always get stuck, and stop me if you heard this one. I often during playing this game wish that there was an all-knowing being who could answer a lot of the questions that I have a majority of the time. And every so often, Jeff, you so graciously give us exactly that. And the moment I am presented with it, I have absolutely no fucking clue what to ask.
Well, maybe this is exactly the moment for Crunch to use his little ability.
Yes, of course. Having had his old school cool dude spy cred challenged, he's going to draw upon every ounce of his know-how abilities to find out what sort of questions he should be asking in this moment that could possibly help.
Yes. Once they determine that he was there at this facility, the question is how to know if he's still there or if he has left. So basically, you'd want to know about any unusual flights to or from the planet. You'd want to know if there's been any discrepancies in terms of like bills being paid and things with this construction firm that are additions to the original contract, because that would suggest, something sneaky's going on. And from there, you'd find out maybe how much equipment was brought in. That would tell you how many people could potentially be guarding the place or how many prisoners they have. Could even tell you where they're headquartered, which spaceport they might be headquartered in or near. So yeah, you look really smart in front of everyone by asking all these really important questions.
Damn, you didn't even need to roll for that shit.
And she says, I'll get right on that, Crunch. It's so good to see you again. My God, you look good.
I do, don't I? Likewise, yes.
The sunny air has been good to you. Sunny air? I don't know.
The sunny air. I love all the sunny air that we get in space.
Oh, no, this would have been on Deverakar.
Ah.
Yeah.
If only we could get Lady Shy into some of that sunny air and solve all our problems.
Thank you so much. My worst enemy is a goat.
I have to temporarily ally with the goat to defeat Lady Shy.
Yes. Okay, so she'll also look into Olmond, see if they have any links to these companies to alleviate your fears there. But it's not a crazy thought, considering that somehow Ashai just knows where he is. So Petey wasn't seen exactly, but you think it's because the informant hasn't been paid yet. It's one of those where they're like putting out feelers. So it's not confirmed. So if you want her to risk it, she will go ahead and confirm with a high degree of certainty that he is here. He is there at the facility. And they can also probably provide transportation if you want a anonymous vessel that's not, captained by a friend, that sort of thing.
I think the anonymous vessel would be helpful, but I don't think you need to risk yourself.
I'm also Team Anonymous Vessel.
Lovely.
How do you feel about it, Crunch?
I totally agree. There's no reason to put yourself at any more risk. I'm sure the intel is accurate.
I must admit something. I have heard a rumor that the four of you were contacted by the Order of the Red Circle, and that it's possible that the schism so lately celebrated between them and the Pamite Legion might be false, and that they might still be working together. I would be careful around those people.
Noted.
Thank you. Good to know. Good. I had some weird feelings about them. I feel like this was very validating. Thank you.
Ambassador, if you survive this, we should have a drink.
That we shall, because I will survive this. Also, Keziah, check on Gale. She's looking a little nauseous.
Here, Gale, take this.
What is it?
Zofran. It will help you with your nausea.
Nope. Thanks. Yep.
All right. Likes and wishes. Likes. Who had something they liked?
The Zolfram. I'm a big fan of a mystical magical closet, so thank you for that.
I have a question, though. If we make a cursed item out of Ashai's, evil will and all that, and then we somehow use it back against her, do we essentially, give Ashai, a vampire mental disorder kind of thing, where she's, trapped in a circular hellhole where she's trying to control herself and she can't?
Congratulations, Kristy. You've given a vampire bipolar disorder. Cut that.
I mean, these are the kind of things wizards think about. So bring it to a wizard. They'll counsel you on that.
Well, it's your wizard character, so I'm wizard to wizard, Jeff. I'm asking you. Yeah.
If you could get a barbed wire belt onto a vampire without them just ripping it off, I mean, it's probably a little too Baroque at that point. You could just destroy the vampire, right? You'd have to get her kid off,
Which option is more fun, Jeff?
Jeff, is it Baroque or did it Baroque the game?
If it ain't Baroque, don't fix it.
Right.
Let's leave the stakes and beheadings to those other podcasts. Here at Shattered Worlds, we lock our vampires in an endless loop of feedback nightmare torment.
And possibly
We just do things a little
possibly
different.
put medieval penance underwear on them.
Yeah. What if you wove it into a nice sash that she could wear, across the body?
Yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, we're not barbaric.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like a collar, like a dog collar kind of thing.
And if the
That'd be
Ooh,
kinda
needles
I
were
like
sexy.
just
that.
fine enough to not like be pokey but more itchy.
Mhm.
I like a good choker.
Yeah. Hmm.
Speaking of likes, I did also like the hallway conversation between Keziah and Alecto.
That was very good. Yeah.
I liked Alecto leaving and again being like, I have a girlfriend. Goodbye.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have worked like 3 days ago.
That's
It
true.
works
true.
very powerfully for the fact that it's a shy and a shy is a huge flirt. But like also I have this beautiful image in my head of Alecto just always thinking that anyone who's talking to her is hitting on her. She's just thinking like,
That's
I have
accurate.
to beat these people away with a fucking stick.
That's
Well,
pretty
but
accurate.
it's also the mindset of like a teenager
Mhm.
who is like just mindlessly in love
Mhm.
like for the first time and in a relationship for the first time, and like that's all they can think about,
Mhm.
so okay, yeah, great, I'm talking to somebody, it's not the person I'm in a relationship with.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
I'm actually fucking bored with you, so
Right.
Plus, I have the cute
Yeah.
and charming perks, so
Yeah.
everyone just reacts to me a certain way because I am cute and charming.
I have felt this deep need this whole time to tell you what was going on in Ashai's head at that moment, which was all I want to do is suck this bitch's blood all out of her body and leave her a dead corpse in this room, but I can't because I have to work with these people.
I had a feeling that was what happened. There was like one or two options, you know.
I just kept thinking, well, how could I hide her body?
I love that
No.
Lady in Red song.
Yeah, generally when a vampire is being like sexy, it's not actually sexy.
Yeah.
It's
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's a prelude.
Yeah.
It's like foreplay.
Really?
AJ, next time a vampire comes onto you,
Mhm.
is an ulterior motive.
I hope
Yeah.
a vampire comes onto me.
Well, it's very messy, AJ.
I can clean up.
God damn it.
It's a lot of blood. So you need hydrogen peroxide for that.
There's some
Not
vinegar.
bleach.
Wait, they come blood?
Well, what are they supposed to come, Jeff?
I think we killed Jeff.
Likes. Any other likes?
I liked Crunch actually getting to be like a smart diplomat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a fun change.
I like his cool new belt.
Mm-hmm.
I liked all the stuff people have already mentioned. So I'm just gonna say ditto. Plus, I liked the closet Narnia Wonderland.
Mhm.
That was fun detail. Yeah, and I wish that we do get to trap Lady Ashai in this feedback loop trap.
That's pretty wicked.
There's my wish.
I wish Legos teaches me that spell so I can have more space.
Okay, AJ wants bigger closet. Jayme wants to mind ravage belt torture.
I fucking got myself. I forgot that I changed my name to Olmanjo.
Hmm.
I make Jeff laugh a lot. It's not often I get him to laugh like a little girl, and I love it.
I wish someone would slather Alecto's hands and fists, or feet and fists with garlic, and she could just go wailing on Lady Ashai. Garlic and holy water, poultice.
Well,
Well,
What if we got you like press-on nails made out of wood?
nice.
This is my favorite day. This is my favorite day because these things were said out loud and they're going to be on the internet forever.
So like miniature steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just go full like Temple of Doom on Lady Ashai.
Yeah.
So if you punched it into her heart and then, I don't know, twisted your finger or whatever and left it in there, would just that little sliver be enough to destroy the vamp? Or would you need them all in like a chain, like a big long stick's worth? Does the stick need to go out both ends of the heart?
Or could it just be like a splinter? Because then you can
Well-
just use wooden bullets.
Yeah. It depends on what, like, part of the mythology you believe. So some people think the stake is actually to, like, trap the vampire in the coffin. But some people just think that it's like wood that has to go through the heart. So it depends.
If the nails don't kill Ashai, but they do heal her of the vampirism, does that mean she's manicured?
All right, bye
Yes.
everybody. Good night.
All right. How do people find you on the internet? Jayme.
I'm on YouTube as Brandoff, the off-brand Gandalf. I have videos on YouTube.
Kristy.
I have some short stories up for free on a website called Vocal, but they're under my full name, which is real long, so look for a link to that in the show notes if you want to read them, or check my Blue Sky, which is KMITKO, and there's a link to them on that as well.
Do it.
AJ.
Just try searching for me on most social things at AJ the Slayer, either with or without underscores between the words. And I'm also on a podcast called Christmas Tide Ohio, which is an anthology kids on bike series where we play in a Christmas town and solve mysteries all over the place. There's ghosts, there's witches, there's magic, there's everything. And also I make some of the music that goes onto the show, so check it out.
It's great, and I really do listen to it, and you should too.
Hell yeah. Hey, I just remembered you have Elemental Strike. Could you turn it into a big stick? Is stick an element?
My favorite element is stick.
You know, earth, but like stick part of earth, right?
I mean, you could make it into,
You want me to get the
Iron,
Earth stick heart?
I guess, like cold iron. Cold iron works against.
That's more fairies. I don't know about. I think in this universe, though, you got to do the wood.
It's up to you, Jeff. You're the writer.
Yeah.
It-
you
it-
could just lay some you
Yeah.
could shoot some flowing water down, and then she wouldn't be able to cross it. You could make your escape.
In my universe, it's all about wood and flowing water.
Yeah. I've never understood the flowing water thing.
We could just get a cowboy to kill her, like in Dracula.
It's true.
Yeah.
The cowboy?
Some of the lesser known vampire weaknesses, but it's highly effective.
We could try saying her name backwards.
Some guy with a whip. Speaking of Dracula backwards.
Yep.
Oh, Alucard from Castlevania.
Yeah. I just need to find the Belmonts.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. You can get in touch with us
No, you need to.
on
Ash. How do we find Ash?
Facebook.
No,
Ash,
you
yes.
don't. Oh,
You don't find me.
I'm incognito.
I'll find you.
I'll find you.
In fact, shut up.
You can find me on Blue Sky as Dr. Mod, DOKTORMOD. And yeah, I tell the jokes and share jokes, and it's a very jokey time.
It's a good jokey time.
Hell yes. And you can get in touch with us, shatteredworldspod@gmail.com. We're on Facebook. We have a Facebook group, True Heroes of Shattered Worlds RPG. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/shatteredworldsrpg. And yeah, be a part of the show. Give us your name. We'll turn an NPC into you, or vice versa. Yeah, spread the word, like, rate, review, all that stuff. And listen to my other shows, Everything is Awesome, and watch, and The Great and Secret Knowledge. On The Great and Secret Knowledge, we're covering all manner of interesting subjects. Jayme was just on to talk In the Mouth of Madness. And before that, Dracula, which is, 1931's Dracula. I'm drawing a lot of those images into these silly scenes. How she's like vaguely angry all the time, like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was so fussy. What was his deal? Anyway, we cover the Vorg game, Wizard of Oz, X-Files, Star Trek Lower Decks, all kinds of stuff. So check that out, The Great and Secret Knowledge. And also Omniversal Escapades, my streaming show that takes place every other Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/Omniversal Escapades. And archived, all those episodes are over at youtube.com/Omniversal Escapades. I think that will do it. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Let's do a quick cold open. I mean, an open cold? Is this a cold play?
Before we do that, I just have to say I really love the idea of turning an NPC into a person. Like, the fan writes in and says, "Hey, I'd love to be on the show," and all of a sudden we take just like Captain Gale and just like, "Oh, and also I've been lying this whole time. My name is Tom. It's nice to meet you."
It's Maja de Gultaman. He's in his fancy robe, and he's sitting on his Roman cushion, and he's looking into some sort of crystal ball situation, and he sees Lagos and Judith and Keziah and Alecto, and then he moves his hands all weird, and like everything changes, and we see like view going down over the prison and down each level, and his finger comes out of the darkness and points at this one cell, and it's open, and inside is some blood and a shoe, and he like puts his finger into the blood and sniffs it. I don't know how to end it, so that's it. That's all you get.
Jeff, is this my punishment for the NPC joke?
Oh, that was Bill from Dubuque. Thanks, Bill.
I love the god living in my body, Bill.
If you die in the podcast, you die in real life.
Oh, no. Sorry, Bill.
Oh, Bill. Oh, Bill.
I will return to us, find you, girl, and make you one of us. I'm taking off.
Shout out to Space Knife for letting us use their track I'm Taking Off, Shield Your Eyes, from their Into the Black Hole EP. Thanks, Space Knife. Keep it rolling.
I'm taking off. taking off.
Tangents. That's a fun mini thing that could be said. Tangents. I keep coming back to the mic thinking I'm going to be relevant, but this is just the four of you talking. So
And we're so
Carry
good
on.
at it, you know? It's just effortless, breezy conversation.